Have you ever lain awake at night, wondering if your savings will be enough to keep you comfortable in the years ahead? Or maybe you felt a little pang of worry when a bill arrives, hoping you can keep living life on your terms without leaning on anyone else? If you're over 65, those thoughts are perfectly normal. But here's the good news. Financial independence is absolutely within your reach, and it doesn't take a fortune to get there. It's all about making smart, practical choices that let you enjoy your days with peace of mind. In this video, we're going to share 5 simple tips to help you stay financially independent after 65, so you can keep doing the things you love. Whether that's traveling to see the grandkids, treating yourself to a nice dinner out, or just knowing your future is secure. Let's dive into the first tip, and trust me, it's easier than you might think to get started. The first step to staying financially independent is creating a clear, realistic budget that works for you. I know the word budget might sound like a chore, but think of it as a roadmap to freedom. It's about knowing exactly where your money is going so you can make it work harder for you. Start by jotting down your monthly income, things like Social Security, pensions, or any part-time work. Then list your regular expenses, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and those little treats like your morning coffee. My friend Joan, who's 68, sat down with a notebook and a cup of tea one afternoon and mapped it all out. She was surprised to see she was spending more on cable than she needed. By switching to a streaming service, she saved $50 a month without missing her favorite shows. The key is to look for small ways to trim, like cutting back on subscriptions or cooking at home a bit more, while keeping room for things that bring you joy. There are free budgeting apps or even simple spreadsheets online that can help, or you can keep it old school with pen and paper. Check your budget every few months to make sure it still fits your life. This one step gives you control and confidence, knowing you're living within your means. Another important tip is to protect your savings by keeping an emergency fund. Life has a way of throwing curveballs. A car repair, a sudden medical bill, or even a broken water heater. Without a little cushion, those surprises can derail your financial freedom. Aim to set aside enough to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a separate savings account. It doesn't have to happen all at once. My neighbor Tom, who's 66, started putting away just $25 a month into a high-yield savings account he found online. Over a couple of years, it added up to a nice safety net. Look for accounts with no fees and a decent interest rate. Many banks offer options tailored for seniors. If you've already got some savings, resist the urge to dip into it for non-emergencies. Think of it like a fire extinguisher. It's there for when you really need it. Having that fund in place lets you sleep better, knowing you're ready for whatever comes your way. So, we've talked about building a budget and setting up an emergency fund. 2 practical steps to keep your finances steady and your independence strong. These habits are like laying a solid foundation for a house you can live in comfortably for years. But there's more to explore, like a simple strategy to make your money stretch further without feeling deprived. Stick with me, and let's keep going with the next way to plan for your financial freedom after 65. Let's keep the conversation going about how to stay financially independent after 65, because there's nothing like the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're in control of your money. The next tip is all about making your dollars stretch further by being smart about your spending. Now, this doesn't mean giving up the things that make life enjoyable, like meeting friends for lunch or buying a new book. It's about finding ways to get more value from what you spend. For example, take a look at your regular purchases. Are you paying full price for things you could get at a discount? My friend Ruth, who's 67, started shopping at local farmers markets for fresh produce instead of the big grocery store. And she not only saved a few bucks, but also found tastier veggies. Another trick is to use senior discounts. Many restaurants, stores, and even travel companies offer deals for folks over 65. Sometimes as much as 10 or 20% off. It's like getting a little thank you for your life experience. You can also save by planning bigger purchases, like a new phone or appliance, around sale seasons like Black Friday or end-of-season clearances. Ruth started checking for coupons online before shopping, and she was amazed at how those small savings added up over a year. The goal is to spend thoughtfully, so your money goes toward what matters most to you, keeping your independence intact without feeling like you're pinching pennies. Another key tip is to stay on top of your healthcare costs. because these can be a big drain if you're not careful. After 65, things like Medicare, supplemental insurance, or prescription costs can add up fast, and unexpected medical bills can chip away at your financial freedom. Start by reviewing your Medicare plan every year during open enrollment, which usually happens in the fall. Plans change, and what worked last year might not be the best deal now. My neighbor Frank, who's 70, sat down with a Medicare advisor at his local senior center and found a plan that saved him $200 a month on his medications. If you're not sure where to start, there are free resources like the State Health Insurance Assistance Program or SHIP that can guide you. Also, consider asking your doctor about generic versions of your prescriptions. They're often just as effective but cost a fraction of the price. Another simple move is to take advantage of free or low-cost preventive care, like annual checkups or flu shots, which Medicare often covers. By catching health issues early, you can avoid bigger bills down the road. Staying proactive about your healthcare costs keeps your savings safe and your mind at ease. We've now explored how smart spending and managing healthcare costs can help you hold onto your financial independence. These steps are like fine-tuning a car engine. They keep everything running smoothly so you can enjoy the ride. There's one more tip to share, though, and it's about a simple habit that can give you extra income or peace of mind without much effort. Keep watching, and let's dive into the next way to plan for your financial freedom after 65. Let's wrap up our journey to financial independence after 65 with one final tip that can give you a little extra breathing room in your budget: exploring small income streams or downsizing smartly. You don't need to go back to a full-time job to boost your finances. There are simple, low-effort ways to bring in a bit more cash or cut costs without feeling like you're giving up your lifestyle. For example, consider turning a hobby into a small side hustle. My friend Helen, who's 69, loves knitting and started selling her scarves at a local craft fair a few times a year. It's not about making a fortune. She earns a couple $100s a month, which covers her car insurance. If crafts aren't your thing, you might look into things like tutoring, pet sitting, or even renting out a spare room if you're comfortable with it. Another option is downsizing thoughtfully. This doesn't mean moving to a tiny apartment if you love your home, but maybe clearing out clutter and selling and used items like old furniture or collectibles online. My cousin Bill, who's 66, sold some vintage records he hadn't touched in years and used the money for a weekend getaway. You could also look at downsizing your car to something more fuel efficient or moving to a less expensive area if it suits your needs. The idea is to find small, manageable ways to add income or reduce expenses, so you keep control over your finances and the freedom to live life your way. As we close out, let's think about what we've covered. We talked about creating a budget that's like a roadmap to keep your spending on track, setting up an emergency fund to handle life surprises, spending smartly with discounts and strategic purchases, and managing healthcare costs to protect your savings. Then there's this last tip: finding little ways to bring in extra money or cut back without sacrificing what makes you happy. These steps aren't about turning your life upside down. They're like planting seeds that grow into a stronger, more secure future. Maybe you start by checking for senior discounts the next time you're out, or set aside $20 a month for that emergency fund, or even sell that old lamp collecting dust in the attic. Each small move brings you closer to the peace of mind that comes with financial independence. You've worked hard your whole life, and you deserve to enjoy these years without worrying about money. I'd love to hear what you think about these tips. Have you tried any of these ideas? Or is there one you're excited to start with? Maybe you got a clever way to save or earn a little extra. Share in the comments below, because your story could inspire someone else. If this video helped you feel more confident about staying financially independent, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more practical ideas to live your best life after 65. Here's to keeping your freedom, enjoying every moment, and knowing your future is in your hands. Thanks for watching, and here's to thriving at any age.